afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off yet an exciting, riveting 1v1 on crossing in the woods between the north. We got Paul.A.D fighting for the Soviet Union, rolling out here with the 17th Tank Corps. As Operation Bagration is in full swing, he is trying to push his way through the German lines and smash as much as possible asunder. Holding the line, though, is Angreifen fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 10th Panzerdivision with mobile defense, Jaeger armour, hello, and Festung armour. Triple infantry, Angreifen certainly has a tendency of going off the meta reservation at times. Versus Paul's mechanized support guard rifle and Lend-Lease tactics, certainly also less meta choices there from Paul. Triple infantry bulletins noting one for faster conscript training, so you can get them out a bit on the field a few seconds faster, which again can sort of slowly add up if you're fast enough. You got a doubling near build as well here for Paul, so there might be something else being planned alongside the conscripts. Double grenadiers here for Angreifen, no sign of MG42 so far. Pushing east and west so far. Looks like actually more might be heading westward. He just grabbed the territory outside his base, since that's pretty safe. And he wants those extra resources. Wine going off here to help defend the point here. Make it harder for Angreifen to sneak forwards and sort of find cover there. Continuing eastward, so my primary effort here from Paul is in the east as Angreifen heads west. So basically both heading for one viewpoint with minor efforts towards other resources. In this case it's Paul who's mostly doing it. Here's something like Grenadiers, K90Ks versus most in the guns. Curve point secured, and then looks like the news heading back, so it could be a supporting company. No, it's a specialized command here for Paul. Could mean penal troopers support the conscripts. An interesting opening there when you actually consider most penal trooper builds tend to get up really fast. In this case, Paul basically prioritizes getting out some map presence before following up with the penal troopers here. An interesting opening for sure, an interesting opening. And dealing with the Grenadiers, but due to the heavy cover, then Union's actually doing decently versus the Grenadiers. In fact, already got 2 kills. In this regard, Union's, if they can sort of keep the enemy at distance, actually kinda decent if the opponents are not in heavy cover as well. In the southeast, Grenadiers going territory, there we got quadruple Grenadiers, might be a tier 2 with a tier 3 rush here from Angreifen. Paul there with guard rifles. We've got the first option up. We got a scout car as well here for the 17th Tank Corps, ready to smash the fascist lines. There you go, Grenadiers being overwhelmed by sheer constantly just retreat here. I mean, this is just, completely outnumbered. Angreifen sees the situation of retreats. He's making a better effort up west. He could theoretically try and sneak up behind, hitting the carve points this way, but could end up punishing his quarter, laying down bar wire to wire off the centre there. Out negative card, they're going to get some really good hits here for Deutschland, Germany. Back here, reinforcement, no tech, no medic bunker either. Millie doesn't have the munitions for it. Don't know where they went, but there you go. We got the M301 in on the way with a flamethrower engineer squad in it. Pretty popular combo. Also very nasty, and can in some cases completely wipe out a unit if you're not careful. There you go, Panzerfaust off there on the scout car, lands a good hit. Grenadiers moving ahead here, Engineers trying to cover up as best as they can. Nice work there, Paul, but I fear it won't be enough to really sort of protect it. But what he's essentially doing, he might also realise instead he's just getting as much damage because, as you might notice, right now Angreifen is not focusing on the Engineers at all, which allows himself through hits here, causing severe damage to the Grenadiers. In fact, he has a small chance of getting a wipe, so even if he ends up losing the scout car, in this case he actually doesn't, because he was actually able to switch the attention around there, allowing the scout to get away here. Loses the engineer squad, which is actually quite unpleasant for Paul, and might in fact be a bit more expensive than the scout car, but in the end though, this scout car is still operable, can be fixed and put back into action. So an interesting development there. I like to make a nice company, so quadruple Grenadiers into that. Could be Panzer Grenadier, could be 222s or 251s. We shall see what ends up with a scout car on the field and still not destroyed. A 222 certainly is the better choice here, able to more fluidly deal with it. Paul floating an awful lot of resources. In essence, I mean, for the early game, the fact he doesn't have a lot of units, it's a bit strange. He's not, training more infantry or anything. It could be he's planning on going for a lot of guardsmen. That would be the sort of immediate guess here. In which case, he's basically just trying to use smaller force to apply a lot of pressure to Angreifen, causing him to play on the defensive. Defensive meaning he won't be able to push across the field here. We can see that he's already doing that. So Paul needs to do more damage faster to actually gain the command points you need to call in the guardsmen, otherwise you risk rapidly falling behind Angreifen. So they're calling in the 222. Delighted punch speed, Wagner healing going up here in the base. Scout car still rolling back. Hey, how about some help? Yet, you have to pull the car all the way back. The regulations. The regulations? Yeah. Or do you want to get sent to Gulag? No? Good. Do they really get sent to the Gulag? No one ever asks questions if you threaten with Gulag. It's how it works. No engineers there for Paul. Getting ever closer, we got the lighter punch speed Wagner out here for Angreifen, the 222, which was basically being phased out, I think, around 1943-44, simply due to the fact that it wasn't very good off-road, which for a reconnaissance vehicle is actually kind of bad. They're basically being replaced out with the 234, which is an 8-wheeled armoured car, which is better than 4, or with half-track, so presumably they used an armoured car based off the 250 half-track as a fun fact. And the 250 half-track itself is being phased out. As a transport, they were just using the 251 for the reconnaissance battalion as well. Scout car, they're going to got the first guard squad out here for Paul. Flamethrower engineers added again here. DP light machine guns is going to bit off here. They're not too far off either here for Paul. And to tank, Rifleman goes off, the 2-2 pulls through. Scout car needs to get away, but looks like he can't quite get it. Scout car flanking up behind, taking advantage of the whatever pathing error happened. Guards from the car opening up, causing some damage there. 2-2 gets caught up in the M301, but still gets it. Almost taken out here with the guardsman. For some reason decides to do a 180 turn. Bit of a pathing mess up here, and there we go. Wrecks the wreck to get the 2-2 out of there. Guess that was what happened. And does he get it out? Does he get it out? Oh, it's gonna go down. Is it? Oh no, it gets away. It gets away with the tiniest slip of health. That was damn lucky there for Angreifen. Rather rubbish luck for Paul. But he's clearly going to be throwing in a lot of gas for the DP light machine gun, so that scout car stays numbers one way or the other. And you can see there's a pioneer sandbags quickly wired off by the German army. In the east, they can see doing more work, grabbing territory over the Grenadiers. Light machine guns also finally head out to the Grenadiers as well, increasing their firepower versus the Russians. Conscripts moving westwards, they're going to head for the fuel point there. Very nice work. DP up and down the guardsmen, increasing their firepower notably with double DPs. And we can see there, Paul is basically rushing ahead here for the tank command. Going to rush out T7 most likely here versus Angreifen. And Angreifen with only a 2-2 is going to struggle a bit with that. He's got no telemines down either, which means he's basically just down to Panzerfaust. Also note here, tripwire flares, very nice little ability. You can use to get your kill and some reconnaissance. Also just has that psychological effect on mines going off, which is always helpful as well. Bunker up. 2-2's going to need some serious repairs, and even then it's going to need some support if you want to take on a T7. Although Angreifen is just keeping up pressure in the east and into the north because there's nothing from Paul, so he might as well just advance as fast. And he's even going to threaten the carve point. Very bold, very aggressive. I like to see that light machines up. I mean, we got Jaeger armour. We got Jaeger armour versus Guard Rifle, one of the more popular doctrines of the late versus one of the less popular doctrines. Well, this is certainly going to be interesting. Grenadiers there being overwhelmed, pushed away. Guardsmen there on the work, plus the engineers with flamethrowers, no minesweepers. He's clearly not worried about Angreifen doing anything now. We'll have to see if Angreifen actually considers a half track just to lay down the Regal mines, which could be helpful. T70 on the way there. MD42 moving up, back here, reinforcements, healing, all that happening. Most of the repairs at the moment. And we can see the Angreifen's first machine gun there's been pushed rather far ahead. And he might actually end up losing if he doesn't retreat here. Grenadiers are doing what they can to cover up, getting some good damage in, but the conscripts are also landing quite some impacts on the MD42 crew, threatening to wipe that one out. So that was definitely a pretty risky maneuver there by Angreifen, pretty risky in the northeast though. Paul strikes back for the motherland, heading straight for the fuel point. Good work there. And note, both players are overall focusing on denying the other fuel and trying to get as much as a fuel advantage. Very good play there. Now the other side just trying to turn into a meat grind over the central victory point. As both realise, whoever gets the most fuel is likely going to have a big advantage. Particularly for Wehrmacht, getting a fuel advantage tends to be critical. Flares going off here, kills Paul Ludwig. And there we go, got the T7 to the job. Mortar following up with Angreifen, which actually gives them a nice little amount of combined arms, infantry, vehicle, machine gun, and mortar. Those going to need something a bit more heavy hitting than the 2-2 to deal with the T70. Otherwise, the mortar and the machine gun's not going to particularly matter either. And looks like that 2-2 is going to go down. Guardsman moving in as well here. That's going to be, I think, collapse to the west side. We got double guardsman out here for Paul. DP light machine guns up on the second squad as well. So that's 2 guardsmen, 2 conscripts plus the T-70. Pack 40 around for Angreifen as he very sensibly realises he's going to need a bigger gun. Back here, reinforcement and healing for Angreifen. Back in Paul's base, we've got the same thing going on. T-70 going in aggressively. And Angreifen very boldly sends in a couple of grenadier squads. He's probably going to try and Panzerfaust it, make an easier target, and also just force it off the field for a longer period of time, since it's going to be very close to death after that point. But his grenadiers are quite exposed to the guards behind the T-70 light tank, but still, it's going to give him more time to get the pack to the front line. In the east, skirmishes going on there. We got S-mines down on the eastern fuel point. Angreifen is probably one of the players who more consistently uses S-mines, which is nice to see. Got mortar grenadiers moving up the east side. Bit of harassment on the west of the MD-42. Pretty risky to send in the MD-42 on its own like this. Could easily risk getting whacked and then hand it over to Paul, which would be pretty bad. Grenadiers moving up here. Basically playing around the machine. There we go, nice alternate timing here. Gets a decent hit. But looks like he's preparing his main push into the east where the Grenadiers and the Pack 40 is. I mean, he's basically anticipating Paul's going to be here. Otherwise, he wouldn't be placing the Pack 40. Comes there though versus Grenadiers with light machines. In fact, double light machines is pretty bad for the conscripts. They just have to retreat immediately. Fight for the rest and munitions there continues. Got more conscripts moving in. Grenadiers versus Guardsmen. The Guardsmen though are being basically shot from out of their cover. But in the end we can see there with the arrival of the conscripts on Guardsmen retreat. Machine gun there. Ooh. We can see he just retreat probably because he's worried he's going to lose it. But still, that was surprisingly effective. I honestly thought there'd been a faster response to that. Back here, healing enforcement, take up for Angreifen, keeping up momentum, trying to build off the fuel lead he's so far managed to get here versus Paul, whose T-70 is also good to go. Pack 40 continues to move about. He needs to be careful not to be too fidgety because otherwise he risks the T-70 attacks while he's still moving it about. At which point he's not going to have a pack. Since if a T-70 can outmaneuver a pack at any time, the pack survival pretty much just drops to 0. What chances of surviving? And it is retreating, Pack 40 there on hand, and there we go. Shoots, can he Panzerfaust? Yes. Doesn't quite get it. Was close, but no cigar. So Paul McCall is ready to be built here by Angreifen in the west. 2's moving forwards there. As for Paul, let's clear what he's planning next. Maybe accept more guardsmen or something else. He could soon go for mechanized armor companier. Again, trying to push for heavier tanks here versus Angreifen. Guardsmen on the hunt, so Paul McCall, they're being built by Angreifen by the German army, Deutschland. In the west, Grenadiers continue their slow advance. One with light machine guns, one without. In fact, he's only got one Grenadier squad now without LMG-42s. And I imagine that 4th squad will be equipped with it as well. Using the pack to grab territory, but he's being overwhelmed. He needs more infantry. He needs more infantry. He's extending himself a bit, I think too much. But he can very soon go for the Panzer IV, in which case Paul is going to have a bit of a rough time though. He does have the option of calling in the issue-6, which is still pretty good versus medium armor, despite his rather dropped off the radar a bit after being nerfed. And there, got close enough, hitting the dirt with submachine guns. The conscripts almost get the MD-42, but instead get sawed to pieces. And he's reinforcing. Panzer IV is now able to call it in for Angreifen. Will he call it in? Will he call it in? Guardsmen, they're hitting the dirt, clearing out the MD-42. Very nice work there by Paul, and he gets a wipe on the MD-42, but he can't quite get to it. Up here, grabbing the eastern fuel point. Grenadiers advancing, and they're going to go straight to the Guardsmen. Finally calling in the Panzer IV. The 10th Panzer Division is finally able to call in something bigger. Paul so far is not taking up, calling in additional vehicles, or even sending up a howitzer, which he could theoretically do now. Guardsmen dropping weapons. Like they're awfully hot. There we go, T-70 guards moving up, trying to grab back the info to be able to escape with it in front of the T-70 and for that matter the guard squad. Leaving only one grenadier squad to fend off the rations. Paul in control of a little map. He isn't, I think, doing a lot to help defend it. Not more sandbags, no mines. And he's certainly got no support weapons to do it. Almost losing his remaining conscript squad there. Very low in health. But Paul now has 3 guard squads. That is an awful lot of guardsmen. Most surplus usually go for 1, maybe 2, but 3 is definitely pushing into rarely seen territory. Panzer IV finally arrived here at Angreifen for the German army. The 2nd Panzer Company. There we go, strikes at the guardsmen. A quick retreat, and that engagement is pretty rubbish there for Paul. The only piece of luck there is that Panzer IV doesn't have an upgrade. And there you go, in response to the arrival of the Panzer IV, Paul calls in the F-6. He also goes for an additional conscript squad. And T-10 is trying to escape. Panzer IV goes for the kill. We got Duff, we got conscript nearby, we got, and oh, actually no, it's a tank grenades. So there you go, buttoning it up. Allowing the T-70 to escape here, the wrath of the fatherland. Ooh, good hit there from the Panzer IV, wipes out half the guard squad in a single hit. Petrov, Pyotr! Boris, you're all dead! Oh, how horrific! Whoever shall now receive your vodka ration? Oh, me! And a fun fact, there are cases of unit commanders not reporting their casualties fully, so they'd still be getting the vodka ration of the dead men. Fun fact, and Guineas, they're wiped by the grenadiers. Grabbing points there. Mission 6, standing by. T-70 repaired again. There we go, direct hit from the Mission 6M on the Panzer IV. Panzer IV very swiftly falls back in the face of that. Oh, we got the Pack 40 moving up. Grenadiers nearby. Could Panzer IV do some heavy damage there? But the F-6 escapes there with only a single hit from the Pack 40 and nothing worse. Grenadiers versus 2 guard squads, both with DP light machine guns. And only 1 light machine gun from the Grenadiers. That is a very lopsided engagement here, and one that I think definitely favours Paul. So Angreifen never goes should fall back instead of trying to waste his manpower there, unless he's got some other plan, which by the looks of it he doesn't. H-60, 70 attacking forwards again. Might use the T-70 spot for the H-6. There we go, assault gun artillery firing straight at the Grenadiers, forcing them to retreat. T-70 spotting the mortar crew going for a wipe here. Can he pull it off? No. Besides the fact he's got other targets to deal with, for example the Grenadiers up here by swinging behind them, threatening the retreat path. Oh, that's a strong move. And a really big push here with 3 guard squads to counter the assault guns, but actually breaks it off for interesting reasons. Also note he's actually been using merchant as guard squads. Very nice work there. Bit of a neglected ability. And this being spotted by the T-70. The T-70 going here, going in all up close and ugly. Feeling pretty confident he's not getting punished, and he didn't. In fact, he forces their Angreifen to pull back the Grenadier squad. And Angreifen is going for an Austrian flak panzer. Interesting choice here. I mean, he could go for it, but yeah, we go more Austrian 6s, which could mean the Austrian's going to be a less of a stellar choice. But again, most other players don't really bother with more S&6s, so not multiple of them. But clearly, Paul here is not playing how most players are playing, which is nice to see. I mean, he's got 3 guard squads. Now he's going for a lot of S-6s, which to a degree does provide him with some artillery, slightly extending what his force is capable of. Now, previously, just mostly just shooting stuff up. Now, also artillerying stuff. If we just were to get some suppression, he would certainly have a more well-rounded force right now. But right now, that's clearly Angreifen with infantry, machine guns, mortars, and of course armour. Flak panzers heading out here. Panzer, they're going to get caught out. There we go, hitting the dirt. Actually, only makes it easier for the Ostwind. Minesweepers up there for Angreifen. He's taking no chance there with Paul. At any mines he might be tossing down. Ooh, hiccups. Lovely. Panzerstreik for the Vaterlander. The guardsmen hold up here by the bridge. They are under a threatening amount of firepower, and these T-70 sweeping about there looking for something easy to wipe. When there isn't anything, he just falls back. And there you go, got the assault guns trying here at the Panzer IV, forcing down to roughly half health. Nice move there. Nice move. Angreifen moves westwards as well as Paul strikes east. Back here, healing reinforcement, no sign of attack. As for Angreifen, I mean, we might have a single spotting scope, and that's about it. That's really all he's been using with his doctrine so far. No regal mines, no reconnaissance. Obviously, the rest is, you know, a bit further off, like the Stuka bombing strike or the Elephant heavy tank destroyer. I mean, it'd be pretty interesting if you went for the Elephant heavy tank destroyer, though. Mostly at lighter vehicles and larger numbers is not necessarily where the Elephant does best, but I mean, he could go for it. But I would be surprised. Good rating on the flak panzer by the F-6, gaining veteran to 1. Nice work then, nice work. Another hit. He's going to use machine gun, and there you go, straight hit from the Pak-40 in the F-6. Constantly pushing down the centre, hit Garrison supporting, puts the Pak-40 there, being wiped out. Flak panzer trying to cover up as well. Too late though, too late. The Pak crew suffers a horrific death as this just sawn to pieces by the DP light machine guns. Ooh, roughing it off, but nicely dodged there by him. Assault gun there, taking out the Pak, leaving Angreifen short on entertainment to deal with the assault gun, so he's got another Pak ready as well. I mean, when your opponent goes for that many F-6s, having a bunch of Paks is not a bad idea, since the F-6s can't fight that too efficiently. Unless they get lucky with artillery barrages. And now Paul is going for another T-70. So double F-6, double T-70. That's definitely a pretty unique strategy. Not one you get to see very often. And certainly one that offers more pressure now against Angreifen. The assault guns. Oh, he cancelled the second T-74, third H-6. I mean, that's pretty rare as well. I mean, whatever way he's looking at it, Paul is not playing a usual Soviet strategy. And we can see that Angreifen trying to react to this. He's going for telemines, since obviously they're pretty good. There's all these light vehicles, H-6s, T-70s are both quite vulnerable to telemines, so laying down telemines is actually a really good idea, specifically because Paul does not have minesweepers. He's got no way of, you know, spotting this before, you know, suddenly he's got himself, you know, highly incendiary toaster machine instead of an assault gun or a T-70. There we go. H-6 number 3 out. The H-6 was actually inspired by the Stug. In fact, so were the issue found most out of the Soviet assault guns, because they were themselves quite impressed by the Stug design, which would really indicate how successful it actually was when the Soviets went, hey, I like this idea, we shall use it in our own ways. So of course, this sort of, you know, used it in their own ways, obviously. But there you go, Osman and Panzer IV moving ahead here. Panzer IV from the T-70 assault on the flank back here. Pak-40 trying to move in, but quickly falls back as it has no infantry screen, meaning Paul could essentially just rush over the infantry and just kill it, stealing it even. Guardsman there, and he's actually merging a lot. That might be why I went for more conscripts. He's basically just using the conscripts to keep reinforcement costs of all these guardsmen down. Mostly because he figures all the armor increasingly the received accuracy bonus they get don't particularly matter so much, so what's more important is just the DPs and the anti-tank rifles. So he's basically just using the conscripts to keep the prices down, having the guardsmen, and he can just, you know, go for more guard sports. That's a definitely also a very interesting strategic move there by Paul, to be honest. Very interesting. Going for more conscripts, which again is why he's got more than one conscript squad, so he can just, you know, at least keep one reasonably reinforced at all times from, you know, military guardsmen. And there you go, triple assault guns, there we go, taking out the Austrian flak panzer. Leaving Angreifen now just for the Panzer IV, which is certainly also quite vulnerable to these triple tank hunters, or assault guns, which did involve the role of blowing up tanks. And these are bunching up right in the small narrow space. Lucky they didn't just get bombarded there, but there you go. Some horrific pathing issues there for Paul. But successfully escapes with the F-60 sending in to intercede as well. Having hit Veteran 3. Victory points. Well, it's actually pretty close between the two players so far. Pretty close. Donadio setting up here. And yeah, mostly just still seems like he's merging here and there. Constantly hitting assaulted by the Grenadiers. Now the funny thing is, I don't know if the Surge actually did that. In fact, what Surge normally would have done was actually just let a unit be completely expended, then pull it back entirely from the front line to be refitted. I mean, what the Surge did in terms of merging is actually more what the Germans would have typically done. Like the Germans would actually typically just, merge units together on the front line so that, keep them going in that sense. Like, for example, during the fighting in Normandy, several divisions would actually just pull reinforcements from wherever possible and use that, to keep the fighting strength up in some way for the entire division. Like, that was a German thing. Funnily enough. And it's actually one thing that tends not to get mentioned a lot, but it did actually happen. Machine gun bunker up here. But I mean, I'm not saying the Surge didn't do, but just from my knowledge, they weren't large practitioners of it compared to the Germans. But again, for the Germans, it just been in most cases, expediency, depending on the situation. We've got a fuel cache up here for Angreifen. Certainly indicates he's actually applying for the Elephant heavy tank destroyer, plus, other armor down the road. So we might actually be seeing an Elephant in a 1 versus 1. Like last time we saw that thing was, with Fortune. And some crazy fights as well. Assault gun engaged the Panther 4 gets a good hit, penetrating the side armor. Second shot on misses. That's impressive. Assault gun though marches straight into the Grenadiers and gets, unsurprisingly, Panther fast. Dogs got the smoke screen down here to help push for the centre victory point. Nice work there though, nice work. Both players here certainly putting the different armies a bit through the ring in terms of what you normally do with them, which is very nice to see. Smoke screens, but also just so much merch there from Paul. Also, machine gun bunker up here to basically cover this area. I mean, he's not using to specifically guard the point here, but just to secure the area around here. So, like for example, Paul can't just immediately break through. Definitely some use way of using it. We got the T-70 number 2 on the way. The Paul. It's going to be triple assault guns, double T-70s from Paul, and the 17th tank corps here versus Angreifen in Germany. There we go. Guardsman pushed back. Angreifen is not too far off from an Elephant. Not too far off. And these got Infantry moving up there on its own. A bold maneuver here by Angreifen, in this case then counting a lone engineer squad. And there we go, double T-70 going in. It's going to punish Angreifen. It's going to punish him hard. Obviously, again, though, Paul is just playing so completely off the charts here. I mean, you usually don't again expect this kind of build or at all to extent he can be forgiven. Even then, there's still the veteran 3 T-70, which, should have kept in mind. But double T-70s, like almost half an hour into the game, is close to unheard of. In particular, in the context of 3 assault guns. So there you go, MG42 wiped out. Air recon's out here. Got the H-60 with the tail mine. Nice work, nice work. Using the air recon to spot head for the Pack 40. Also nice work, but Pack 40 is getting flanked by a huge mob of Russian infantry, guardsmen and conscripts. They're all in unison. And there you go, he can call in the Elephant Tank Destroyer. He can call in the Elephant Tank Destroyer, though he isn't doing it, but he could if he wanted to. And I'm assuming this is Angreifen, he will. Almost got the counter there, assault gun pushing ahead, the machine gun dropped behind T-70, and there you go, we got the Elephant, we got the Elephant Heavy Tank Destroyer out for Angreifen. Grenadiers being swarmed by the T-70s, machine gun almost taking that again, there we go, gets a wipe on it before treating the Grenadiers once, I imagine. Panther 4, the flying covering fire, Elephant still on the move, very slowly though, trundling ahead. Assault guns moving ahead. Veteran 1 leading, and it's going to be straight to the Elephant. Shoots and blows apart the first assault gun. Sukabliat, what was that? That was an Elephant, but this isn't a Su. No, I mean a tank destroyer Elephant. Elephant's a tank destroyer? Oh, God damn it, Dimitri. It's a German war machine. The Germans made Elephants? Just shut up, Dimitri. Guardsman versus Grenadiers here. Guardsman definitely winning that one due to hit the dirt, the veteran 3, and of course double up machines. The Grenadiers just have veteran 3 and nothing else in the names. And of course, spotting scopes in the elephant tank destroyer. Very good decision here. Though at least Paul a bit short there on assault guns. How will he actually respond to this? I mean, he's down to 1 H-6 and a couple of T-70s versus the elephant heavy tank destroyer backed up by a Panzer IV. I mean, that is going to be pretty lopsided. I mean, he could try and go for a bunch of tank destroyers. He could try and swarm with the T-34s, but that means taking up. Another option is supposed to be going for field guns, so that way try and counter it, but that of course leaves them open in other ways, but he could do it. T-70 does the Pioneers, forcing a swift retreat.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Assault guns there waiting for someone to support. So what will he go for back here? And there he goes, going to support company. I mean, he's most likely going to try and use field guns to counter the elephant heavy tank destroyer. Which probably means he's going to need some more infantry to screen them properly. This is all the Grenadiers and the likes. We'll have to see how Angreifen then reacts to that. Grenadiers that easily exposed to the veteran fleet guardsmen. 25 kills to the name. Big 2 points wise. It's still actually pretty close between two with a small lead here for Angreifen. Small, but still notable. Grenadiers moving here and straight into a lot of fire. A lot of angry Russians. Good mortar hit there. Heading eastward, since now Paul is focusing on the west. The east is open again. Looks like it's going to be a major push into the centre as well. Will the elephant be ready? Bit more to go forward calling the field gun. They do cost a bit of manpower here, so obviously having to make a sort of sudden shift to a lot of field guns to counter the elephant is going to be a bit time consuming there for Paul. And meanwhile, of course, he has to manage his engagements quite smartly to avoid having to spend too much manpower reinforcing troops as well. He is making the charge supported by the guardsman. He might want to hit the dirt, but the guardsman, to be honest, doesn't. And there you go, Grenadiers pushing back the engineers. Almost landing a full wipe, but the end fall back. And we got air support called in these as well. I think a bit too quick there. Though, I mean, he does prevent Angreifen from bringing in for support. Centre victory point secured by the Russians. We've got the first field on the way there for Paul. Mortifying the Russian MD-42. How will Angreifen react to this? Smoke's been nearly good, just bombarding that could be useful. It's going to take a bit longer to get machine gun to stop shooting. Machine gun bugger there, by the way, still standing, and the east gun push back. Guardsman in the dirt plus air support pretty much makes that a no German zone. Almost got the MD-42, they got the T-70 coming up. Here we got Grenadiers, Guardsmen moving in. And in the west, an attempt here by the Pioneers to make some sort of headway, but are immediately thwarted by Paul there with a lot of infantry. O.D. another T-70 down. The elephant, I believe. Nope, did not take that one out. Could have been a Telemann or something else. Either way, he's down one T-70. Gets it down to one T-70, one H-6. First flick arrives, shoots, and bounces off the elephant's thick armour. Shot fire on the elephant. Bounces. Rear hit down the elephant. Shot penetrates. There you go. Shoot. Missed the T-70 though. Wow, that somehow just phased right through the elephant tank destroyer. That looked a bit silly. Or maybe just trying not to shoot the bunker. I don't know. So it looks like there you go. Took out the machine gun bunker. Going to do a counter-attack, counter coming in from with hitting the dirt with submachine gun in hand. T-70 ready to support. Actually using recon mode there to base his scout ahead. Interesting choice there. Particularly since it's pointing in the other direction. What do you see up there, Petrov? Trees, lots of trees. Are you looking in the wrong direction again, Petrov? Maybe. Guardsmen swiftly sent packing there. There's a lot of Grenadiers moving in. Most of them now seem to actually take extent focusing on the centre rather than the few on the sides. I'm going to think they'll benefit a bit there from focusing there as well. And there you go. Gets a hit on the T-7 with the elephant tank destroyed. Can't quite get away. The trick park area parking actually makes it pretty hard to escape before the elephant takes it out. And there you go. 88mm armor piercing round, shattering the T-70 like glass. And the elephant's actually closing in on Veterans 1 already. Impressive work there by Angreifen, but what comes next? Another Panzer IV. Austrians or something else, Panzer IV, they're gaining Veterans 2 shifts, and it goes down in a blaze of glory. That was definitely less fun there for Angreifen, though great news for Paul, at least gets rid of one piece of German armour. Angreifen is quick to replace the lost Panzer IV. Victory points wise, Paul is now the one with the lead. Angreifen is slowly starting to try and stabilise here, but that is quickly turned around once more. But Paul makes a big push, and seemingly not worried about Telemark, he just sort of swoops ahead with the Eastern 6 again. Despite that, I lost one. And he is mobbed up there. Paul seems to be increasingly relying here on blob tactics or swarm tactics, which is usually more of a tactic of disruption than sort of controlling the map or anything else. Almost got the Grenadiers, in fact, there with the mighty blob. Second Penfold almost done, and in response to the Paul's venture into blob tactics, Angreifen decides to get another machine gun now, since that's obviously going to be quite helpful. He's going to need, I think, something else though. I mean, one option would be trying taking up for the next hit, and then going for a Sturmpanzer or Panzerwehr that way, trying to break up Paul's infantry blobs. That is indeed what he's going for here. They again moving up out the gaps and comes like this, which are indicated. Air support called in. Grenadiers on the run as the Red Army Aviation force their strikes. Grenadiers are taking heavy casualties. Panzer IV providing carrying fire, you can see there. Paul falls back, Conscripts full retreat, Guardsmen slightly more soft retreat. Panzer IV shooting trees. Now we can see the remnants of his force that heads westwards. Going to strike the victory point east side, is being relatively untouched there by Paul. 186 versus 205. Elephant almost good to go. Panzer IV is. Jaeger in hunt of the Engineers on pursuit. Paul can soon go for another SIS-3 gun, or that he'd have to take out for, say, some tank destroyers. Oh dear, mortar dropped here. Pretty unpleasant loss there for Angreifen. Can he wipe the mortar group before they make it off with it? And close, but he does. He does. There's still the issue that of three veteranly 3 guard squads. All equipped with DP light machine guns, and the results are not very pretty for the Grenadiers left to fight them. But we got the Panzer wing to support in the centre there. We got MG42 as field gun and Mission 6 bombarding the machine gun crew. The unfortunate bastards. And there you go, another SIS-3 gun on the way for Paul. Bringing the total number up to 2, plus an H-6M. Elephant rolling ahead there on its towering treads, bouncing a shot directly head on from the field gun. Not particularly concerned, though he does end up taking a hit to the rear, which of course does penetrate. But we got Grenadiers trying to flank and clear out the field. In fact, he might even use the elephant as bait here. Though that is pretty risky for Angreifen, that was indeed the intent. Still, he gets the field gun crew, wipes. He could actually try and destroy it here with the elephant. Or he could try and steal it himself, which seems to be exactly what Angreifen is doing. But there you go. Paul's having none of it. A huge infantry force strikes back, almost wiping out the field gun crew. There we go. Grenadiers next being absolutely torn apart in seconds. The sheer viciousness of Paul's contra. There you go. Field gun secure, takes a hit from the elephant, but of course survives until it gets decrewed though. Panzer IV moving in. Field gun is crewed up again. He's just unable to hit. And then another hit on the elephant tank destroyer. Need to be careful here. Angreifen needs to be careful. 4/6 men up. Grenadier leading the way here against the guard, and again the guards block, which is just hammering away the TP light machine guns, though it is suppressed here by the MD-42. Punishing for planting his men up so tightly. Still no tech. Still no additional armour.
Supply sector under attack.
Richard Pons White is once more trailing behind Paul.
We have 200 points remaining.
Back here, large troops healing, reinforcing, and possibly merging. Congratulations, you're all guardsmen. Yay! Also, you're not getting paid more on nor snatcher uniforms. Oh. That's not so great. Also, you technically don't get to call yourself guardsmen, just conscripts with fussy hats. Oh. MD-42 is advancing grenadiers, Pants warming up support, and then go support to try and break up this kind of attack from the German army. As the 10th Panzer Division seeks to reduce the Russian position here in the east. Infantry is dispersed, there you go, big push into the centre, and another massive blob straight into the MD-42 here. The guns are going to be a problem since they do have the chance of wiping out the machine gun head on, since they do not have heavy cover for the machine gun. Even then, with the sheer number of DP light machines, they could still take it on. And there you go, MD-42 utterly destroyed here by DP and PTRS-5. Grenadiers wiped out as well. Paul's blob is just absolutely vicious there. Angreifen definitely needs something they can sort of deal with it. Sturm Panzer would be good. Panzerwerfer could be useful. Maybe a bunch of Panzer IVs or something else. There you go, trying to go for the Pack 40. Almost got it. Almost got it. Elephant shoots, lands a decent hit. 4 kills, actually 2 infantry, 2 tank or vehicle. Gonna use those engineers, trying to get a wipe there. And oh, no, he does get the wipe, but the problem is, of course, the rest of the blob still continues. Though it is looking pretty weakened by now, pretty weakened. Angreifen still not taking up. Grenadiers are being swarmed by the blob, submachine guns, DP light machine guns, you name it, they're just all firing right at the grenadiers. And there you go, feeling something up there on the fuel cache. Panzer receiving urgent repairs, grenadiers receiving urgent medical support. There you go, cache is kaput. Slowing down Angreifen, fueling come a bit here versus Paul. And Paul is going for a third SIS-3. He's basically looking to just lock down any armoured attempt, in particular the Elephant here, since the Elephant is not very good versus, well, anti-tank guns. So lots of guardsmen and lots of field guns here from Paul. I mean, he's finally going for the heavy Panzer Corps, and that's going to be the right decision. The question is just, does he want to go for the Panzerwerfer or the Sturm Panzer? The Sturm Panzer is more definitely, I think, useful in just, putting more consistent pressure on the blob, having better chances of causing more heavy harm. Can he deal with the field goods? But on the other hand, it does also involve more risk as it gets closer to the front line, whereas the Panzerwerfer is more safe, but on the other hand, can't quite apply the same level of constant pressure. So they have some strengths and weaknesses to either approach there. It depends on how Angreifen is feeling. But either way, he needs the heavy Panzer Corps as soon as possible. The faster the better here. The faster the better. Because it needs a solution that goes a boom when it hits Russians. And there you go, just a massive red tide. They're just streaming forth from Paul's base. SIS-3 heading eastwards, and the guards constant blob striking through the centre. Alone Grenadier Squad, they just need to retreat. I mean, it stands no chance in the face of Dust Blob. Elephant also retreating there, so obviously there's no way of dealing with that either. Still not supported by that many field guns. Still no sign of the heavy Panzer Corps. I certainly feel like that ought to be Angreifen's main priority here versus Paul. and the sheer amount of firepower can just bring to bear versus all these infantry blow-ups. And there you go, heavy panzer corps going up there for the German army, Deutschland. Good at having the point here, but we can see that Paul is also looking to slow down Angreifen's fuel income. Very good, very good. Victory points wise. Paul is still in lead of Angreifen, 128 versus 174. There we go. Big push here. Pioneers are repulsed. So you just need to go for the Sturmpanzer or the Panther as soon as possible. One machine gun there versus the double field guns. They could try and bombard it into submission, to be honest. I mean, the Panzer breakage isn't the best heavy caliber. It can quickly crumble, so a lot of bombardments they could very well take out the machine gun, at least force it to retreat there. But in this case, Paul just decides it's not even worth it and just falls back. That way he just has forgotten he can do it. I mean, this lane turn match, you're certainly more likely to sort of make some smaller mistakes like that. Heavy Panzer Corps. What will it be? What will it be? So far, though, nothing. And a fourth guard squad for Paul. 4 guard squads. Good God. You don't see that very often. That is a ton of guardsmen. There we go. Another massive tide on the way there from Paul. A tsunami of socialism. Angreifen a bit short on manpower. Need to save up enough there for the Sturmpanzer or the Panzerwerfer. Whatever shall it be? We can certainly see there's some issues now that Paul's running into in terms of strategy. He's struggling a lot more with map control since the blob again is not particularly meant for controlling the map. It's meant for just trying to destroy your opponents, you know, aggressively and efficiently as possible. Which does mean, like, if Angreifen just plays it smart, he can at least sort of bleed Paul out more. Though still, a counter would be appreciated, would be the most efficient choice. Lots of field guns opening in the elephant tank, so a few went through, some bounce. Another machine gun bunker up there. Still nothing in the base in terms of heavy Panzer Corps building stuff. Wait, what? 9? What are you doing, Angreifen? You're building a second one! You already got one! Oh God. Germans and their perfectionism. Yes, this heavy Panzer Corps is slightly askew. We have to build a new one. Otherwise it won't do. Oh God, double heavy Panzer Corps. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen someone build 2 of those. I could be wrong. Machine gun bunker, machine gun, they're halting the massive blob of infantry. Panzer joining in the fun as well. They can't quite seem to hit gun. They're saying from the south. So much pinned down infantry, and there you go. Field guns moving in, ready to possibly bombard the machine gun and take it out. So what will Angreifen go for from one of his now 2 heavy Panzer Corps? Like, what will it be? Sturmpanzer Panther, because a Panther right now would be completely pointless. He's already got the elephant, and he's mostly got infantry support weapons, so it's not exactly armour that's Angreifen's issue. Whoa, that was a good hit from the Panther 4 there. Takes up 2/3 of the infantry squad. So what's it going to be, Angreifen? What will it be? 118 versus 106? Unit wipe, they've got the field gun. Small victory there for Angreifen. And even then very short lived, and can easily be recruited. What's it going to be, Angreifen? Alright, he's going for a Sturmpanzer from his 2nd heavy Panzer Corps. So only strengthening the idea that he built another one because he didn't like the placement of the first one. And obviously it's not that, but it makes it sound a bit more fun, you know. Troops are healing, reinforcing. Sturmpanzer 4 almost done. Good having territory there. Paul getting ready for the next human wave attack. And there you go, all 3 guard squads that can hit the dirt, and just almost tear apart their grenadiers. 57 versus 118. Even tried to take it out there with the Stuka bomb strike. Good God. But there you go. Sturmpanzer 4 gefechtsbereit hier für Angreifen for the 10th Panzer Division. Some from a Sturmpanzerabteilung, since that's where the Sturmpanzer were usually organized into. Though by 1944, occasionally some were just making into a panzer company, since the Germans just stuff whatever they could into them to make up for losses. There are about actually 3 Sturmpanzerabteilungen, so through most of the world, a few smaller Sturmpanzer companies, but can sort of be attached where we need as well. So we'll have to see how that makes a splash. Haha. We got the spotting scopes on the way there. This is going to be interesting. Blob versus Sturmpanzer. Which one wins?
Enemy forces capturing supply sector. We have been reduced to 25
Field guns, blobs moving ahead here.
rewarded.
23 points left for Paul. Sturmpanzer moving in. In the dirt, that's what Inks press button for to note this is only the conscript version, and thus the guards version does not provide protection against suppression. There we go, almost getting a wipe there, the machine gun Sturmpanzer fire. There we go, utter annihilation. Guard squads pushing ahead there. Blobbing up, Sturmpanzer tend to bat. Assault gun firing, and there we go. Decent hit, not explosive enough, but still get some damage done.
We have only 10 points remaining.
10 points, 7 points left. Shoots, and there we go. Absolute hell. 6 men gone in the blink of an eye. Assault gun taken out. 5 points left. 4 points left. 2 points left.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
And 1 point left. And that's going to be GG. Game over. A loss for Paul, a victory for Angreifen, a bloody brutal fighting here with several shifts in strategy actually. I mean, Paul basically initially just went, for some scout car guard squad strategy, supported by, merging conscripts, then build it into light vehicle strategy with a lot of assault guns, T-70, keeping sort of mobile, flexible strategy. And then once the elephants, arrived, he basically shifted strategy into something, instead of using the guardsmen flexibly, like, largest little control force, into a blob alongside the conscript, then supported by field guns. So there's actually some rather notable shift in strategy here from Paul trying to react to what Angreifen was doing. And of course, Angreifen that way also trying to react to what Paul was doing. So that was certainly some interesting elements there in the end, going for a Sturmpanzer. They probably could have done that sooner, if not for the whole, building a second heavy Panther Corps. For that matter, taking some time to build it up. But I would say he played quite well against it, trying to avoid, engaging on unfavorable terms, just, falling back and then pushing elsewhere. Basically playing around the blob, which is definitely one way of doing it. Though I think Paul just, trying to go for a lot of T-34s, that way swarm the elephant, he probably wouldn't better off, to be honest. But there you go, at least, he tried some way of dealing with it. There wasn't just, feeding his men one by one into the elephant, which of course would have been pretty suited as well. Paul, I think, could have benefited a lot more from mining there, and some at times more flanking attempts here, but overall, I'd say, did something interesting, and I'm certainly also played well. And we actually got to see the elephant in a 1 versus 1 again, so I mean, that was also pretty neat. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match, hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send a new player apart some feedback in the comment section. The links to where you can send are in the video description. We also can find links to supporting Propagandacast either PayPal or Patreon. This is Imperial Linking. Cheers, you're all a wonderful audience, and hope to see you all tomorrow again. Bye.